Good game feel is the idea that a video game can still provide a fun and engaging experience without the use of level design, sound, or even graphics. Meaning that if you take out all these elements, you still get a game that is pretty much just as fun. For example, have you ever watched like a review from IGN? They say something stupid like,
at its core, Insomniac Games' adventure strives to make you feel like Spider-Man.
Arkham Asylum makes you feel like you're Batman. He said it! He said it!
Yeah, that's really cool and all, but what does that even mean, I hear you ask? Well, buckle up kids, because today we are going to get down and dirty and figure out what exactly it means to create the feeling of a good game. The best way to explain this is to split this up into 3 categories. Category 1 being movement and controls, Category 2 being response and or feedback, and finally, atmosphere and aesthetic, which is Category 3, because I didn't number that one. Do you ever go to a museum or something, you see a sick-ass painting, you're like, mwah, it's majestic, I love it. I wish I could move around in that painting somehow. Well, here's your controller, kid. Plug it right in and let's get moving. I would argue the most important thing about a video game is its use of controls and movement, the sense of momentum and weight that it gives your character in order to interact in the world in a very stylistic and unique way, giving the player a very engaging and overall really tight experience, if you will. Okay, but what's a good example of, like, good movement, Ozzy, you stupid moron? Well, I'm gonna tell you, if you let me finish. And for a good example of motion in gaming, we're gonna talk about Super Mario 64. So when Steve Jobs was figuring out how to make Mario into a 3D experience, they had to figure out how he would interact in that world. I mean, it's not just left and right no more, this shit's in 3D, baby. So what they did first was focus on how Mario would actually move around to control. Because if it wasn't fun to play as a fat Italian in 3D, then they weren't going to have a game on their hands. This involves stuff like Mario slowly gaining momentum and moving into a sprint, having the ability to jump multiple times, escalating into higher jumps, performing tricks, backflips, 360 no-scopes, side jumps, wall jumps, the whole shebang. Mario had it all. The idea of having this variety of stuff you can do in the game without it being too difficult or involving too much legwork, as it were, or button work if you know, since we're gamers, makes it overall a really fun and enjoyable experience to move around. It was simple stuff like this that gave the game depth, despite being just a simple platformer. It made Mario just fun to move around in no matter what area he was in, whether it be flat or treacherous. And its seamless transition into different moves like jumps and tricks made the game just pretty freaking baller, you know? Just awesome. So what does this all mean exactly? Well, it means that in order for a game to feel good with its controls, it has to just be fun to play as the character itself. It shouldn't have to feel sluggish or unresponsive or even just plain boring to move around. Because if that's the case, then trust me, people aren't going to be playing your game for very long. Response and or feedback is when the game reacts to the player's actions in a rewarding and satisfying way. From Sniper Elite's gooey brain explosion, the satisfying chomp of Ghosts and Pac-Man, even performing a sick-ass flurry rush on monsters in Breath of the Wild, it's these experiences that, even though are overall unnecessary, still provide the player a satisfying feel when they do it and encourages them to keep playing. Even GTA showcases that by accidentally smashing your car, you're still provided with some form of entertainment. It's this response by the game that really goes a long way in the end. It's something you don't even think about most of the time. Okay Ozzy, but how can this be properly applied to your video game, you smart aleck? A good example of this is none other than Halo Combat Evolved. The assault rifle in Halo is so explosive and meaty when you shoot it, it feels like it's gonna vibrate your hands into oblivion. This is because the developers knew to make some enticing gameplay, they really had to pack some punch behind their weaponry. If the gun fired flat, then it wouldn't be fun. The point I'm trying to make here is that a game needs to have an appropriate but interesting response to anything that the player can throw at it. Otherwise it's going to feel a little hollow and lackluster. Imagine a game like GTA, if you shot someone they immediately disappeared as opposed to falling to the ground, or that cars took no damage when you hit them. There's stuff like this that really matters when making a game. Aesthetics and atmosphere is when the visual and audio elements of the game provide a captivating sense of style and appeal that complements the game. Games like Okami, where it used Japanese water paintings as its inspiration for the visuals. That classic Disney animation style that's found in Cuphead. The gritty die-hard feel that is Max Payne 3. It's this adding of polish and uniqueness to the game that increases the quality of playing a millionfold. But Ozzy, I thought you said the games didn't need anything like this to be good. You said that at the beginning of the video. Well, yeah, but it is this use of aesthetics that make the games more appealing and, dare I say, pretty sexy. It's stuff that adds to the experience and makes it more memorable. I remember how pumped I was when I was playing the final mission of Halo 3 with the orchestral music in the background. How concerned I felt when I was riding back to camp as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead 2 with the somber music playing. Or how relaxed and calm I feel when I play Animal Crossing. Although movement and response isn't essential for gameplay, aesthetics is what gives your game a soul. The point of this video is to showcase that a game that focuses on just one aspect of these instead of all three can end up unbalanced and choppy at best. You gotta have all three of them together, combined, to make one big old good game pie. You know, that's tasty and makes you want to eat it. A common mistake I see with these big AAA titles that they want a game to just look good. You know, they don't really need to worry about the gameplay being anything original or interesting because the graphics are just really good, so people will just buy the game. Anyway, I'm not a game dev, so this could be completely idiotic at best, but I thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you have your own opinions about this stuff, then I would like to hear it in the comments. I really would. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want more stuff like this. I'm Ozzy, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, homie.